Understanding? This is a predominant Assam king. He had converted this Moran community members to Vaishnavism. Okay, write this down. Aniruddha Deva, 17th century king of Assam, who converted the Moran community members to Vaishnavism. Vaishnavism is Vishnu worshippers. Done? Yeah. Okay. Now, this is where the importance will come directly from prelims. This Moran community, whatever we are telling, the issue has been largely your Manipur ka present day issue, your Métis, your Kukizo. These are two ethnic communities from Manipur. They are also fighting over this ST status. ST status means scheduled tribe status. Change?
Yeah, it is not audible.
I asked, they said it was fine. Okay. See, now two things you have to know important. Manipur ka two most important tribes are Métis, Kuki, Zo. These are valley people, these are hill people. Exactly, you have to remember those things. So write this down. Métis are valley people, Kuki, Zos are hill people. The fight between them started also for ST status. This is considered, okay, this Métis wanted ST status and High Court had decided, okay, we will consider giving them ST means scheduled tribe status. That is where the conflict had started. Now here also the issue we will speak in Assam is, I told you one important community is this Moran community, right? Even they are wanting ST status only. They are very largely, wherever this community is there, all this tribe is there, no? Right, your Assam area, these people are called as T tribes. Assam ka all these tribes together are called as T tribes because largely their tea only will be grown, plantation crops, and all of them are demanding for ST status. This Moran community has told, if you do not give us ST status, then we will put blockade. We will not allow for normal resumption. Alongside this, your Moran, Thai Ahom, Koch Rajbangshi, Shut, Motak and Adivasis, all of these people are asking for ST status. I know why all of you are laughing. Okay? Okay, coming back. So we understood the concept, right? One possible prelims question, you don't need to write it down, just tell me this. Consider the following statements about Moran community of Assam. They are aboriginal tribes that once had independent kingdom before Ahom rule. Right or wrong? Why so much doubts? Before Ahom rule, these people were the ones who were in predominant ruling. So this is correct statement. They belong to Maurya sect of Vaishnavism. Yes? No? Okay. Look at this. Which sect of Vaishnavism? The possibility of these questions in this year prelims is higher. So this is correct. This is correct. Third one. They are one of the 6 communities in Assam currently demanding ST status. Right or wrong? They are primarily concentrated in Arunachal's Changlang district. I specifically told you don't have to worry about district. Yes, in the statement forms when the districts are given, right? This particularly if they pick out any district, the possibility of the doubtfulness should arise. Because they just have to change one district name, right? Here it is wrong only, okay? The correct answer is 1, 2, 3 only. But if you see the correct answer is Namsai district. Why I did not tell specifically write this down is in the mains, that is in the prelims when they give it to you as questions, the possibility of this particular statement being wrong will be highlighted in this one word. So you have to look out for that. Understanding? Next topic. Supreme Court verdicts on mental health as fundamental right. Done? In simplest sense, you all know Article 21. What is Article 21? Right to life. Under right to life and personal liberty, there are a lot of things. Right to sleep, right to clean environment. Now recently they have added right to mental health under Article 21. Okay, this is a landmark judgment. Large amount of possibility this question being for prelims and mains is very higher. In which judicial case means Sukhdev Saha versus State of Andhra Pradesh. In this case, judiciary has held mental right is an essential component of a right to life under Article 21. Write this down, put it in a box, very important. Sukhdev Saha. You have to by heart this judicial case. Along with the year and versus whom. This is very important. So, right to mental health is under Article 21, right to life and personal liberty. Okay. Why the sudden surge? Why have they recognized, let's say, mental health as a right to life? If you see, first and foremost in India, the death cases, if you see, youth. Now, when we say youth, it is from 15 to 29 years. Do not tell that why this, that, and all. I am not making this. Your NIMAN's National Mental Health Survey is making this. According to them, the youth between this age gap are committing a lot, or let's say the death in this age bracket is largely because of suicides. Okay. Judicially, we have decriminalized suicide. We have decriminalized suicide. That means if anyone was attempting suicide and they didn't, then that would be considered as a criminal activity earlier. Then this has been decriminalized and it was seen as a mental health issue, and what they need is proper rehabilitation, judiciary had told. Largely when your national mental health survey, not national, you always know NFHS, National Family Health Survey. This is National Mental Health Survey, NMHS. National Mental Health Survey. Okay, this held that the youth in this age bracket are dying, death is occurring to them, means it is largely because of suicide. In this also, almost 46% of death is because of issues in the personal life, love affairs or love failures, marriage issues. Because of this reason, 46% of suicide is happening. Okay. Another important topic that your National Mental Health Survey found was in the academic circles, largely with respect to your IITs, all your top international institute, or with respect to academic itself, the main reason students are committing suicide is because of academic pressure. Academic pressure, and this initially it used to be only in the graduate level. Now it has come down to even schooling level. Children not able to bear the pressure and not able to bear the shaming are committing suicides. Understanding? And this has brought about a lot of significant changes where, if you see the world average of how much suicide rates are, India has more than that. Okay, this is an alarming level. First thing is, in India, we have not defined mental health. Okay, but rather we will take WHO, World Health Organization ka definition of mental health as state of well-being where a person will cope with stress, realize their abilities, learn, work and contribute to the community. Okay, this is important, write this one down. And underline the term well-being. I'll tell you where it is necessary. Further down we will be bringing those. And leave some space after you write this. Done? Before we continue further, leave some space below this and then we will fill up something else in here. So, present health scenario according to your National Mental Health Survey, 10.6% of Indian adults suffer from mental disorders, 13.7% have it throughout their lifetimes, and 15% of them need immediate interventions. Immediate interventions for things such as your depression, anxiety, your BPDs, bipolar disorders. Okay, many people are not even aware that they have this or they are going through this. Again, why? Social stigma. The concept of mental health or having these kind of things is considered as a tabooistic thing and still it's not yet spoken outside. And for people with these things and they don't, let's say they have it and they don't even know it, if medical interventions is given, let's say a good amount of counseling or medicines or psychiatrists, whichever is coming is helping through, then a lot of their life things will be changed. If left like this, eventually it ends up in very later stages into the suicides. Understanding? Also, if you see with respect to mental health disorders division, urban area has higher mental health disorders compared to the rural area. One of the reasons being your lifestyle, stress and the work environments. This percentage is important. Almost twice of it, whatever is in rural area, almost twice of it urban area suffers. Done, we'll move ahead. Suicide rates are 12.6 per 1 lakh deaths, whereas global average is 9.2, which means India's range of suicide bracket is higher than the world range. Understanding? I need to write this down. What is the reason which is driving your mental health disorders? First thing is academic stress, societal and family pressures, and in this large section only your percentage, your National Mental Health Survey found out personal stress with respect to love affairs, marital conflicts or relationship issues. This is contributing the most. Poor access to care, and this is one more thing. See, World Health Organization, okay, this is very, very important, you have to write. At least for 1 lakh people, 3 psychiatrists should be there. World Health Organization has told for 1 lakh people, at least 3 psychiatrists should be there. But in India, for 1 lakh people, we have 0.75 psychiatrists. Then don't think like how only a 3/4 of a person is present. Average. Okay, this data is important. Done? We'll move ahead. Government initiatives, National Mental Health Program 1982 it was started, wherein it gave more of national health program, counseling, OPD, patient care and all this were given. NIMHANS Act, this is important because present day current affairs it comes into limelight. NIMHANS, which is located in Bengaluru, was declared as a institute of national importance. Your IITs, IIMs and all are there, no? To that level the status was elevated. Again, this NIMHANS specifically deals with your mental health largely. Then your physical disabilities, person with disabilities, even for them also it was brought under this act. Only this I want you to write it down. Done? Mental Health Care Act was passed in 2017, again which decriminalized suicide. These words are important. Mental Health Care Act 2017 decriminalized suicide. Write this down. National Health Policy again was integrated with National Mental Health Policy, and your digital platform of Diksha was started for the frontline training of staff and volunteers to provide mental health care. Not very important. This portion is very important. National Mental Health Policy decriminalized suicide. Judiciary told that this accepted that. We'll move ahead. No. It integrated national mental health into health. This is MANAS, that is tele mental health program was started, wherein you can get online help free of cost. Okay, for those of them who are suffering with mental health issues. And next is your Ayushman Bharat. Remember I told you after your WHO definition leave some space, on the same lines of your, what is the line that you underlined? Well-being, right? On the same concept of well-being, whatever we had as PHCs, primary healthcare center, in line of well-being were transformed into Arogya Mandiras, which also considered about your mental health. Below the WHO definition, write this down. Transition of PHCs into Arogya Mandiras. This is under your Ayushman Bharat. And then we'll move ahead. Now we'll look into this question. Tell me whether the statements are right or wrong. The Supreme Court in Sukhdeep Saha versus State of Andhra Pradesh recognized mental health as a part of right to life under Article 21. Okay, correct. Mental Health Care Act of 2017 decriminalized suicide in India. If I replace this mental with just National Health Care Policy of India, is that statement correct or wrong? Okay. National mental health care is separate. National health policy is separate. In here we did not decriminalize it. In here only we decriminalized it. In national health policies, alongside regular health, they also added mental health as a component. Okay. So, National Mental Health Care Act of 2017 decriminalized suicide in India. Okay. RBW, that is persons with disability. 2016 expanded the definition of disability to include mental illness. Yes or no? True. India currently meets the WHO norm of 3 psychiatrists per 1 lakh population. How much do we have? This is recommended by WHO, but as of now we have 0.75. So this statement is wrong. Next is Waqf Amendment Act of 2025. Done? First and foremost, presently most controversial topic, Waqf. Waqf basically means more of, think of it like, let's say I am a Muslim person and I have donated, okay? I have donated for charitable purposes. Okay, think of it like this. I am an individual, okay? I have, let's say, some property, money, whatever it is. I have given this piece of property. Think that, okay, for other Muslims, let this be of useful for either constructing mosques or schools or hospitals. Like this, many people will give. So all these people have given these lands, right, as donations. All of them have given this lands etc. in the name of donations. All this land pooled together will be controlled by one body that is called as Waqf. Okay, write this down. It's simple, but just write down a thematic representation. What is Waqf? No, 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 no. This is not given to the needy people. It is given in the form, I told no Waqf that is now established. I will give it to them. Those people can now use that particular land to either construct schools, hospital, or any other charitable activities that they feel is needed. It is not given to the people. This board will manage it. That is called Waqf board. Done? As of now, the government has passed, that is the parliament has passed Waqf amendment bill. Initially it was brought in as amendment was made, and that was passed by parliament. It also received the presidential assent, so it has become an act. What is this Waqf Amendment Act 2025 talking about means? It aims to regulate Waqf properties. Remember in the previous diagram I told all the properties pooled together, that is Waqf land. So this particular act will regulate Waqf properties, improve efficiency, use technology, prevent misuse. Very, very important. Write this down because this is the main objective as to why now Waqf 2025 was brought in. Done? We'll move ahead. So the definition of waqf is endowment. Endowments charity or a donation given by a Muslim for charitable or religious purposes. Okay. What they will do in that waqf board will do. Okay. It is not bound like they are supposed to do schools only, colleges only, hospitals only. It's up to them. One of the thing about your waqf property, when something is called as waqf property, no one, let's say this one particular person, he is A. He has all family members. He had a piece of land, this land. He has children, grandchildren, everyone. Technically, how does the inheritance work? My father's land, my grandfather's land, so I will be getting it, inheritance will be there, right? But if this person has donated it, okay, and it is under the control of waqf, means these people cannot ask this land for inheritance. Okay, once a land of waqf, always a land of waqf was the slogan it had. Your 2025 Amendment Act wants to break that cycle. There is a lot of political things also inside this. Little bit later we will be discussing. As of now, waqf property is inalienable, which means this land cannot be sold, this land cannot be asked for inheritance, this land where no one can have claim, anyone from his side. Even he, if he decides I donated it by mistake, now give me back once also, it's not given. Understanding? That is the importance of your waqf property. We'll move ahead.
What does it mean by engroundment?
That is, if at all there is a provision where I only want to take it back, or there is legal litigations behind it, once it goes to Waqf, you can't get it back, even if you want that. Or in case if there enters a litigation, or let's say by accident, Kerala pe once this happened, 600 families ka ancestral land went off into Waqf property. At that point of time, those people can't ask that land back. Again, why? Waqf property, once you can't ask that back. Then these people and all staged a huge protest. That case went to your judiciary, and that way it happens. So that is why Waqf land means it has a strong hold. That was how it was in 1995. The last act, whatever we had for Waqf, was in 1995. This act gave that provision, or this particular act had scope for limited judicial review. That is, even when 600 families came in complaining that why our ancestral land is booked as Waqf property, this particular act gave very limited choice for your judiciary to intervene. Why? Because the act provision itself was like that. Now 2025 Act, Amendment Act, tries to break that and give more powers to judiciary. Understanding? As of now, there are 8.72 lakh acres of Waqf property, that is 38 lakhs in India. Understanding? No need to write this down. Read on Waqf boards. Waqf boards are statutory bodies. Statutory bodies means something that is created by a act of parliament for administering Waqf properties. Waqf tribunals, which means in case any complaint happens like this Kerala ka case that I told, no, they can take the case to the Waqf tribunal. This Waqf tribunal was created in the Waqf Act of 1995. The Muslim members. Done? No. First and foremost, your 2025 Amendment Act has introduced a lot of changes. First of those is, they have separated the trust from Waqf. To get this into this, look at this. Waqf board is something that is created by Waqf Act of 1995. Yes. Eventually what added was a trust was created, where all the Muslim members only used to come and sit and decide. Eventually that got clubbed with the Waqf board. First thing 2025 Act did was, Waqf board is separate, Waqf trust is separate. First thing. This is not a major this thing. This was just how, let's say, nominally, out of convention, this came into picture. The main issue was, and the most controversial reason why they were even going to Supreme Court to ask for stay, was the second important thing. They said the person who is donating land to Waqf, he has to be a practicing Musliman for at least 5 years. He has to be practicing Muslim for 5+ years, then only he or she can donate land to the Waqf board. This is where many members of the community felt like, what is the legal or rational definition by telling 5 years should have been passed? Okay, that was one of the criticisms. The second one is very important, write this down. If you have to dedicate a property or donate a property, at least 5+ years, you have to be a practicing Muslim. Done? Now I told no, in the previous case, this particular person, he has children, grandchildren, everyone. If he decides to donate this land to Waqf, that's it. These people cannot claim for inheritance. Now here the provision is, before you make the land donation for Waqf, if there are women members in your family, understanding, especially widows, divorcees or orphans, they also should get a share in that before you do the dedication. Understanding, largely targeted for your women's rights. This was not there before. This is also one more criticism. Who are you to decide who I am supposed to give, who I am not supposed to give? But they are telling, again, see, now these people will usually be considered as dependents. So in this case, they have to be given inheritance to women. Okay, it is not inheritance to all your children, grandchildren, no. Inheritance to women should be given before you donate to the Waqf property. Okay. Next is end of arbitrary claims, that is once a Waqf, always a Waqf. That was how Waqf board was operating. If at all it is called a Waqf property, then it is always going to be mine. This is where even in 1995 they had given very limited scope for judiciary to operate. This now they broke down, telling that no. Why they were telling that down is, let's assume large amount of government lands, graveyards, okay, public land holdings, many agricultural lands, whatever were there, these people were initially telling this is mine. Now all these land, they said, because we have been calling it mine for, let's say, 10 years, 20 years, it is automatically mine. This was the Waqf claim. The 2025 Amendment Act tells that no such thing is going to be now from now on. If there is any property that is disputed, now we will create any position above the collector. He will decide whether the disputed property is a government land or a Waqf property. Understanding? Any officer above the rank of collector. Above the rank of collector will decide whether the property is government property or Waqf property. That is also one more criticism they are telling. Why executives are dominating this? Above collector, all these are executives only. No? Write this down, this is important.
When the land is donated to work, do they mandate a certificate or something releasing the property from other claims? Like if I've taken a loan from a bank,
they will see all that before it is taken. Yes. Okay. Another important thing is Waqf tribunals had a major changes in 2025 Act. Right on Waqf tribunals under 2025 Amendment Act. Waqf tribunals under 2025 Amendment Act. See, Waqf Tribunal 1995, not that. This is Waqf Tribunal of 2025 Act, according to which there will be 3 members in this tribunal. One is going to be a district judge. Okay. Another is going to be a government officer. Now when I said the government officer, someone who is above the rank of a district collector. And the third one is going to be a Muslim law expert. Now any issues that comes up with a property, that will go to Waqf tribunal. Now these Waqf tribunal, these three people will try to decide whether that property will go to whom, whether any person can raise any request telling that no, this is a land to be inherited and all those. Let's say whatever award Waqf tribunal will give, if the person who has asked doesn't like that award, he can appeal against the decision within 90 days in High Court. This provision was not there before, but it was brought in your 2025 Amendment Act. This is Waqf tribunal. If a person goes in, doesn't like the award given by the tribunal, within 90 days he can go and appeal against the decision. Again, the word I am using is appeal against the decision of the tribunal, Waqf tribunal, to High Court. Same words read on. Appeal against the decision of Waqf tribunal to High Court within 90 days. Like we said, why? Because lot of government land were all taken in the name of Waqf, graveyards, agricultural lands, many people's ancestries. So one more important thing that they added was, if any Waqf property, say if they are earning more than 1 lakh rupees per month, then they have to make sure they will allow the auditing from the state, that is from government, to see the auditing, so as to see these people are not mismanaging the funds. Understanding? Usually in Waqf, what used to happen means, whatever money they used to get from a particular property, they used to use it, or the whole point this property was given was for charity. They used to give very less amount for charity and rather use more for the maintenance of the properties. Now they have told that no, Waqf boards or these people who are giving the properties or people who are maintaining the properties should give more income to the charity. Understanding? So that the whole point of why we will be using Waqf property, Waqf board will be meaningful. One thing is, they have also said that earlier what you saw was for a Waqf tribunal. Waqf tribunal will have how many members? 3. One is judge, next is government official, then is Muslim law expert. In the Waqf board, they have created this, and this is also the most controversial one, is it will have 2 non-Muslim members in the Waqf board. The question that was started was, this is violating Article 26, at least that is what people have held. Freedom to manage religious affairs. They are telling a Muslim is donating the land to Waqf board, which is again following under Islam. Then why is the need of 2 non-Muslim members needed here? Understanding? The second thing is, they said in the remaining Muslims, whatever will be there, at least 2 of them should be Muslim women. Women representation should be there. Again, this sparked controversy. In the remaining Muslims, different sects of Muslims are to be included. Shia, Sunni, and all of these OBC Muslims and all are also to be included in the Waqf board of Muslim category. So this was one of the most controversial thing that is going on. They are telling this particular feature is violative of Article 26. Yes, but they are yet to suffice on that. They have got to stay on it. Center pay they are claiming 20, state pay they are claiming 15. Done? Another thing is Limitation Act of 1963, which means if at all a case has come up with regard to Waqf property, earlier there was no time limit, now within time limit we have to deal with the cases. That is, dispose the cases which are coming in front of with related to Waqf property. Okay? Time bound resolution. Then we'll move ahead. The questionnaires, the people who have criticized have asked, why is Waqf needed right now? Why did you have to bring these changes? First thing they told us, because we want to break this concept of once a Waqf, always a Waqf. Okay, because your bed Dwarka and all these other properties, like I told you, that 600 families, Kerala and all these cases, no? Because of Waqf holding it, it puts the issue about holding the property rights. Government is not able to interfere or provide any solution. Judiciary is not able to interfere or provide any feasible solution. Because of this years and years of litigation, no time bound limit is there. So they said we want to break this. And also there is poor management and encroachment of public land under Waqf property. They cited Karnataka example where large amount of properties were taken off in the name of Waqf. And another thing is lack of judicial oversight. Earlier, not the Judicial Tribunal of 2025, not Judicial Tribunal, Waqf Tribunal of 2025. Before the title 1995 Tribunal, no appeal was there. That is why they brought appeal in 2025 Tribunal. And also this Kerala protests further aggravated the conditions that no a proper law is needed. Okay, this is the reason why Waqf Amendment Act was brought in. What is the concerns and criticism? Like we kept on discussing, first is they are telling more control is with government official and less control is with Waqf boards. Who is determining a property, dispute property pe? Someone above the, that is government official above the rank of collector. These people are asking, Waqf board was earlier deciding that. Now why someone from government is deciding that? First thing. Second thing is dilution of Muslim representation, or otherwise the non-Muslims, 2 members who are to be added. That is the issue. Second, third is ambiguity in practicing Muslim for 5 years. What is the point of calling practicing Muslim 5 years? Why that 5 years? Okay, that is the question. And removal of Waqf by user, which means for long time, let's say some property was not Waqf property. No one had donated it, but these Waqf properties were using it. So Waqf properties would tell, even though it was not donated to me or given to me, I was using it, so it becomes a Waqf property. Now they have removed that status, Waqf by user. It was not donated to me, it was not given to me. I was using it, the Waqf property was using it, so it is a Waqf property. This 2025 Amendment Act removes it. So the question now that will come is, so all our graveyards, mausoleums, all of this will now become what? That is the question. Okay? Write down removal of Waqf by user and what Waqf by user means. Even though a particular property was not dedicated, given, or let's say in charitable purposes consideration, if the Waqf was using it for a long period of time, then it was considered a Waqf property. Next is top courts ask who will decide that a religious conversion is deceitful or not. No aspect of any answer has been reached here. Only thing it comes is Article 25 has come into question with the Chief Justice of India Gawai telling that. Article 25 is what? Freedom of conscience. You have a right to profess, propagate and practice. In that, one word is questioned. Propagate. Propagate means I can make even people convert to my religion. Understanding? So this propagate term was usually understood as conversion. Conversion is allowed in our country. Forceful conversion is not allowed in our country. The question now comes is, how do we determine whether a conversion is forceful or not? Understanding? The Chief Justice of India has asked the same question. Who will decide whether a conversion is deceitful, forceful, or in a wrong or malicious intent or not? That is the question asked. They have not got any answers. It's just a question asked, so this has come into picture. Understanding? Let's see one topic I have to cover. Swasth Nari Sasakt Parivar. This is a new scheme that has been launched. Write this down. Done? It is launched with the conjunction of Ministry of Health and Ministry of Child. Ministry of Health and Ministry of Women and Children. This scheme is launched on the sidelines of 8th Rashtriya Poshan Ma. Okay? Understand this ideology is simple. Lot of women are there, right? Largely, now according to this particular scheme, they are going to create a bunch of volunteers. Okay? Now these people ka work is to screen the women. Okay? Screen the women for diabetes, hypertension, okay, and other burdensome disease which is increasing in the present times. Diabetes, hypertension, BP, okay, something that is coming because of our lifestyles. So, these people, the volunteers, are to come to all these places wherever, let's say, a particular area. Earlier we have ASHA workers, right? The same kind of people, but these people will spread awareness. Alongside seeing, first they will find out which women has diabetes, who is having hypertension, who is overweight, whose BMI is over the mark, and they will give them, okay, they will give them two things. First, this is your health condition. Second, how can you cure that? That is, they will give them adequate awareness about nutrition. This is your Rashtriya Poshan Ma. This is the 8th year we are doing this, wherein the mothers, women, children will all be given adequate information to deal with these diseases through nutrition. Understanding? This is what they are trying to do with this particular scheme. Clear? The important thing is that this scheme is launched, okay, and it is in conjunction of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and Ministry of Women and Child Development. Clear up until here?